Shane Bruce, Restomod Daisy. We're going to do some robot camera work today. Hopefully we can get some video that is suitable to put up. So I'm working with a static camera. My camera person is currently occupied in other activities. So we're going to see if I can get a set camera position that works for me. What we're working on today is the Daisy 141 that showed up yesterday. Let's see if we can get ourselves a shot of the old roll stamp. I can't see it, but I'm hoping maybe you guys can make it out. It's real faint, but it's a 141 Defender, Plymouth, Michigan gun. Third of the Defenders. There was a Model 40, a 140, this is a 141, and a 142. We've got a pretty good amount of videos up already on the 140 and the 142 and the Model 40. So this will be the last in the series. The gun arrived from my client who has started collecting these things, and this is the fourth and final iteration. What we've been charged with doing is getting the gun running again. As received, it has no compression. I'm making the assumption, I don't know for sure yet, but I'm making the assumption that this is because the abutment washer, the abutment seal has failed. It's either riding the air tube or deteriorated to the point where no compression is possible. The gun will load, the gun will cock, the gun will fire, but the BB will only travel about 10 feet. And that's normally an indication that there's a abutment washer issue. So we'll find, abutment seal issue. So job number one is get the gun apart and pull the guts out. So to do that, we'll have to remove the butt stock and then pull the lever, pull the trigger, and then remove the power plant and see what's going on with that. Now, this is an older gun. It has slotted tip screws, and they're a bit chewed up already from previous attempts to work at it on it. So what we're going to do is gather the tools we need as soon as I find them all, and get to work on getting that rascal popped out of there. Let's see here. Always a good idea to make sure you've got all the stuff you need before you start, but it's not required. All right, now this gun does actually have nuts on the bolts, the stock bolt, the lever bolt, and the forearm bolt. We're going to leave that alone. We don't need to mess with that, and I don't believe I need to pull that 300 mount off, but we'll find out. So job number one is get this rascal out of the way. Always pile your bolts up away from other bolts so they don't get confused. All of these are going to be coming off. Now this is a 141, which is a wide body, and you'll note that there is no nut on the trigger bolt. And that's because this tolerance here is a little too tight. You cannot actually get a nut on that one. All right, so we pulled those off. Let's check our size on our... All right, that's nice and easy. This gun's been apart more than once. I'm not sure you can actually see this on camera. No, my hand's blocking it pretty well. So we'll need to consider that as we move forward with the robot camera concept. Oh man, let's see if we can get this. Maybe you can see that. But as you can see, the slotted screws and slotted bolts have their unique problems. This is one of them. You've got to get the right width, and this one's just a chunk too fat. And I probably don't have one that's perfect, but let's see if we can get a little closer as we attempt to do things in such a fashion that you can see what's happening. Whenever I do a conversion on one of these guns, I always take these slotted screws and remove them. It's just too many issues. All right, so that one's a little bit gummy in there, but she came out fine. And you'll note the wear and tear on the slot tip itself. All right, now somebody's been in this one before, because that is not a factory screw for this vintage gun. So let's see if there's some mysteries and issues with the end of this buttstock, because that's a fat little puppy. she's coming out, joining the others. Now we're going to pull the stock off. We'll notice that our recoil spring is there. Now for a plastic stock gun, this butt stock is in really pretty good shape. As you can see, it's a little waffly. You can see where there's some depressions here where the acetone cellulose acetone, CAAC, whatever it is, has warped with heat and time. It looks like a scratch, but it could be an arrow. Who knows? The obligatory flecks of white paint are all over the place. But one thing I love about these acetone stocks is take a look at that. Take a look at that grain pattern. You don't see that in just any piece of wood. I mean, if this was wood, now God knows what the fucking cost would be on it. And there's the Daisy logo. I'm not sure this has a trap on it. I want to say maybe. Oh yeah, it's got the trap. All right. Look at that. That's nice and snug. Stays put. And there's a bit of a split on the bottom of the stock. And here you can see the profile. You can see where it's a little bit waffly. But hey, it's a Daisy. Dun dun dun. Alright, so we got the butt stock off. Trigger return springs there. That's good. Let's go ahead and pop this lever out, which is a cast iron lever. Nope, that's aluminum. And let's see if we can actually get the lever bolt out. Oh, that's going to be a nasty mess. I don't want to chew that up any more than I have to. I got to find a better bit. This could take a few minutes. Let's go back to the wider bit and see if maybe that gives us a little bit more bite. As you can see that on this one, it's had its issues before. And I'm just spinning just like the previous guy did. That's not going to work. I'll have to come up with a workaround on that, but that lever's got to go. So we're going to stop the video now because we've been rolling along for about 7 minutes, and I'll play that back and we'll see if it's worth keeping.